After the episode 4 operation, you have a choice with the language, since what usually people do is we change language from Norwegian and Dutch here after the operation and keep it that way up until the end of the game. But in the Talk of Pirates job, there is a cutscene skips, which makes the job faster in Norwegian. And if you do that skip, it's faster to keep the game in Norwegian for one more job and not change the language here. But that one skip saves only like 10 seconds and it's rather hard, I would say. Not that difficult though, but it's maybe not that beginner friendly, I would say. So as a beginner, I would recommend you changing the language right now. So system settings to the Netherlands. But if you do the skip, which I will show off later in this video, keep the language in Norwegian still and change the language after the job. But let's get back to the game. In the game menu, we are going to skip the intro cutscene of episode 5. I have the episode 6 available, don't mind about that. You shouldn't have it just yet. But as you can see, like for the same thing we did in episode 4, we were able to skip the intro cutscene. And the same thing goes with episode 5, so we don't need to watch that, we can just do a game reset and skip the whole thing and spawn to the safe house after the reset. And how to do the reset optimally? Well, after the game the language change, you go to slide 3, boot up the game. You want to start mashing X, and as soon as you see that you have selected this episode 5 here, you start the transition from this screen to this screen. As soon as you see that, you want to start holding your PS button and keep mashing X. Keep doing that. So we will time the PS menu opening optimally. As soon as you see that it starts switching from this scene to this, start holding PS button. Like this. That way you also can hear a little bit of the music or the effect, and also this loading screen is a little bit longer since it's saving. But then we are just doing the regular game reset here. Boot up to slide 3 again. Here we are in episode 5. We skipped the intro cutscene. In the start episode 5, we are going to buy a gadget that costs 400 coins. So right after the game reset, Halogen select either right or left, doesn't matter, to get to the ThiefNet as soon as possible. Then we are going to buy a Stille Vernitigin silent obliteration that costs 400 coins. That is required for X marks the spot, but is also really useful here in Talk of Pirates, so buy it. And that way we are ready to go as Slime. So here in the beginning we want to take some damage first for the cutscene skip we are going to perform later. Also take a look if you have noob mode. Like you can see for my health bar, I have a noob mode, so I need to take 4 hits. So after the second hit you can see if your health bar is halfway through, like you can clearly see if Sly has half HP. Yeah, but if not, Sly has more health left, you have a noob mode, which I had there. You can actually go back a video to see the Sly's health bar. You can clearly see it's not halfway there. So that is an indicator that you need to take damage one more time. But optimally you don't have noob mode and you only need to take damage 3 times. For this mission, trigger spin attack to it or push attack if you are doing push attack rogue. This time we got the Chihuahua guard for the damage abuse, so let's first paraglide over here to avoid one attack. take damage either 3 or 4 times. I have noob mode, so I need to take damage 4 times. Like this, then get to the mission trigger. So as you can see there, compared to the Golden Retriever one, taking damage from the Chihuahua is way faster. For the cutscene skip then. We are using a guard. At this point we are using Golden Retriever. There is also a chance you get Chihuahua guard. But the goal is to push Sly to the trigger area for the cutscene. But kill Sly first. And using the Golden Retriever, we are going to use the shoot attack. So let's get around here. We are trying to get the Golden Retriever far enough so they start the shoot animation and then stand somewhere around here to get to the cutscene. And just like that, we have just skipped the cutscene. This time we got the Chihuahua guard, and how we do the damage, the death skip is we wait for this attack. The Chihuahua is swiping the sword sideways, not against Sly, but doing the swipe like horizontally. You know what I mean. That way, let's actually go there. The way I want to do it is stand around here, since you can pretty much hit beat even, and that will work. So just going past this line after during the death is fine. Just don't be too close enough to beat, and that will fail. But stand around here, wait for the horizontal attack. If you get the whatever it is, if the dog is trying to swipe the sword towards you, then just jump over that or wait for the other attack. Wait for the swipe, and you get the cutscene skip. That is how it goes. After the cutscene skip, you will spawn up there. You need to go to Pete one more time, like this, and then you're free to go for the Jake section. For the Jake section, get down here, punch the ball, get a spotted once, and then start just walk slash run. Just be out of the flashlight so you don't get shot. But we are going to lure Jake to the anchor. After those 2 jolly boats, you can start running here. Get ready. Drop the anchor. You can be a little bit early here with the anchor. It can fall down before Jake isn't even there, and it will still work. The second Lieutenant is out there. We are going to use this boat here, so let's get up here. This circle input can be tricky. As you can see here, we missed it. The backup is just let's grab here and get back on. But optimally you should just get there with the Silco input on its own, like this. But as you can see, if you fall down, it's okay, just let's grab here and get back on. You are going to jump over this one, and then just run here. You don't need to spin attack to the trigger, you can just walk here. For the second Lieutenant, the thing is we are just using the silent obliteration to kill the guards fast. That is one big reason we are buying the gadget right now. So just get back down here as soon as possible. Be careful with the second one. If you're moving while you do the knockout animation, you might alert the Lieutenant. But other than that, just do the pickpocket animation. The third one, Ned. We are doing this kind of little skip here. This can be a little tricky jump, but you are going to handle it with enough practice. It's okay. Here is this bounce pad, and then we will get here. You don't need to catch the rope even. You can just paraglide here. I didn't press circle at all. That way we are going to trick Ned spawn. There is a rare occasion that sometimes when you get Ned it just isn't there. The reason is that Ned is sleeping, and because of this boat is going like this, Ned might fell to the water. And when the cutscene starts, that Ned says, "Oh, there is someone after me," something like this. If you can see Ned here, that means that the Ned has fell to water and you need to die, because you can't just continue the mission. So it is quite often that when you get to the catapult, you start paragliding, you don't see Ned here, then Ned is just sleeping somewhere down there. That is completely okay. But when you trigger the cutscene here, if then Ned is not here, that means that you just need to die as fast as possible. Which of course it sucks, but you can do. But that is the case with that. If that happens, you know what to do. In this case, if you are doing the second cutscene skip, which I'm going to present later, you want to damage abuse. And how we damage abuse is that we take damage once from a boat, and then once from somewhere else, unless you have noob mode, which you should not have. But if you have, for example, if you died somewhere earlier in the job, unnecessary dead, you might have noob mode. But we're just going to use that one boat you saw there to get slide to half HP. And then there are multiple options how you can take damage one more time. You can either use the guards here, like these guards who spawn. You can, for example, use the Chihuahua guards attack pattern. If you want so. Also this jump, be careful with this one. You can really easily fall off. You can also just use water damage, which we are actually going to do. With that little skip we get ahead of Ned. Like this. Just run fast enough, get to the water, like this. That is the most optimal way of taking damage there. But if you are slow enough there, you might not make it. So the safer option, but a little bit slower, is to either take damage from the guards or then water damage earlier in the phase. So that is the death abuse strat for the second cutscene skip. Of course, if you are not going for the cutscene skip, you don't even need to care about damage abusing during the chase. You can just follow Ned, collect some coins meanwhile. But here you want to get your pirate disguise. And then I'm gonna show the cutscene skip first. A trigger area is a little bit different. Here we want to GSM the guards. Now we got the golden retriever. Spin attack them a little bit over there. Change the disguise. Get shot. That is the cutscene skip. For the Chihuahua guard, as you can see in the picture, the trigger area for the cutscene is slightly different compared to the first one, so we want to be a little bit more here. But do the same thing, wait for the horizontal swing, like that. If you're not doing the cutscene skip, just get here. You can double jump here and then change the disguise and then hit the trigger for Pete. That is the way how you can do it without the cutscene skip. But since we skipped the cutscene skip, we skipped the cutscene, we get spawned here with a pirate costume. Just jump 2 times to get to Pete to start the Vinegar Talk. As you can see, there is no cutscene here right now. Okay, let's talk about the Vinegar Talk, which can be tricky. It consists of a couple of phases, but with the knowledge we know about it, it gets way easier. So Sly needs to, we need to do inputs in 5 times. 5 times 3, I mean. But we can actually just spam the buttons in 2 of those, like the first one and then the 4th one as well. So I need to memorize inputs only for phases 2, 3 and 5. For the phases 2 and 5 we need to memorize both Pete's and Sly's in previous sayings, and for the phase 3 we only need to remember Pete's lines. So with that knowledge it makes it much easier. And how to do this in runs? You want to have some kind of notes. You can, of course, if you are a mastermind, you can do this without notes, but I really recommend using notes here. And how the notes work, I have just a notepad opened in my Windows. You can also use, if you're streaming, you can use your Twitch chat. You can take manual note just with pen and paper if you feel like it. My notepad or the Vinegar Talk, and let's see what happens in it. So for the first phase we can just spam the buttons, we don't need to care about anything else. So let's go. Take notes what inputs does Sly do here and write them down. Gek, dan, zakkots.
Maar jij bent toch echt een idiote.
Idi, we, rot. So there we can see the inputs from both Pete and Sly. Why did I do zakkot instead of just Zack? It's because in the Dutch dub there are 2 words that start with Zack. There is zakkots and Zack with Marden. So that's why I use this kind of stuff there to make the difference. But here we can see, for the first one we just see that the word we choose doesn't have the gek or idi starting, the second one doesn't have tan or we as starting, and the third one doesn't have zakkots or rot. So that makes it much easier. Let's see. Gek, idi, okay, it's Tomme, tan, we, it's Xavier, and zakkots, rotsak, okay, koe.
Echt waar? Jij bent een stomme, zeewierkauwende, koeienflats?
Dat mag nou wel zijn, maar jij bent...
For this second one, I mean, well, the third one technically, we need to just listen Pete's line. We don't need to care about anything else. We can just remove all of this here. We don't need it anymore. What we need to listen now is Pete's lines. I don't usually even take notes for this one, since we only need to remember 3 words, but you can also take notes for this one as well. Le, doep, wie. So that makes it much easier. Le, okay, something else. Doep, something else. Door, qui, something else. Ankerkop.
Jij bent een aftanse, doorwiekste, ankerkop.
Like that. Then for this phase, don't even listen to Pete, you don't need to, just spam buttons already, but already focusing on the last one. So we just could spam that, it doesn't scare. Like the way this Vinegar Talk works, it checks for just those couple of stages, what do we say, but you don't need to care about them being during the whole part of the job. Like if you say something in the very first phase, you don't need to care about that in the last phase. It's just how the this mission works. So that's the reason we can just spam there and just concentrate on this last one. So let's all take notes again.
Schuimbekkende, etterende, walvissen.
Shui ette wal.
Maar jij bent toch echt een papegaaijgebekte,
Papa
ongekamde,
ong
papagast.
sva. Like again, shui papa. Okay, mom ette ong. ons, wals, wa, she.
Jij bent een mompelende, onzin uitkramende scheepsjongen.
Haha, dwarse Dirk, je
That's
bent
it.
het echt.
That's how we do the one-shot talk with notes. And here is a really lengthy cutscene. It's over a minute long. But with this one you just need to get comfortable with the notes and just get used to what is the best method for you to use notes. You can do pen and paper. Some people do that. I use Notepad, I like it. Some people use Twitch that. I'm sure there are multiple methods as well. But just take note when do you want to use. So the first phase, just spam.
Het werd eens tijd dat we
Second slice turn, you need to remember both slice lines and also each lines. Third one, you just need to remember
Ik wil
each
maar
previous
samen
lines.
voor er met zo'n waardevol stuk perkament vandoor kon gaan.
For the fourth one, spam. Fifth one, again, just need to remember the previous lines for Sly and Pete. That is how we do. And with that knowledge, it makes it much easier. And then just take notes. Also, just get familiar what kind of words there are in both Dutch dub and the Norwegian dub. You are going to use either one of those two. After this, we are going to do a game reset, since there is a Bentley's slideshow here.